Alright, my little math friends, here we are moving further into Chapter 9, part of our geometry unit that we're doing this year. We're going to take a look at the surface area of 3D shapes. Okay, so what is the surface area of a 3D shape? What it is, the surface area of a 3D shape is the total area or all the exposed surfaces. Okay, what we're looking for is the area of the outside of the entire 3D shape, all the surfaces of the 3D shape. So if we look at our first example, okay, here we have what's called a rectangular prism. Okay, and what we want to do is we want to find the area of all these outside surfaces. It's basically like a box. Okay, so you want to calculate the area of all these rectangles that make up the box. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Take a look at the shape first and look at how many sides that it has, how many surfaces it has. And if we're looking at it, we have a left side, we have a right side over here, we have a top, we have a bottom, and then we have the front, and then around on the other side we have the back. Okay, so we have a total of 6 sides that this shape is made up of, and we're going to find the area of all 6 of those sides and then add it up. Okay, the key thing in this one, also like I talked about this earlier in chapter 9, the key thing is to stay, I'm going to put it right over here, to stay organized. Okay, which can be tough for some of us, but that's the key thing on solving these problems, is stay organized. It takes a little bit of extra work. These problems aren't hard to do, but it takes a lot of pencil or pen work to get these solved. Okay, and that's the thing that middle schoolers don't like. I know how you guys are. You don't like to write a lot, you don't like to draw a lot of stuff when it comes to math, but these are one of those types of problems that we have to do that. Okay, so let's jump in, let's get this thing solved. Step number 1, we want to draw all shapes that make up the 3D figure. Okay, we want to draw all the shapes that make up this 3D figure. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with, let's start with the left side. Okay, we're going to label L and side. Okay, these are all rectangles. So the left side, we have this rectangle right here. Okay, we're going to draw that out. Okay, there's our rectangle, and we're going to label what it is. It has a length of 20 and a width of 8. So we're going to put that right down here. Here is our first side that makes up this figure, and then its matching side over here on the other side of this box is the right side. So we'll label that R side, draw a picture of it, and it's the same thing. It is 20 by 8, same size as this one over here. Okay, 20 by 8. Okay, so we got the left side and the right side labeled. Now let's move on to the front and the back. Alright, so the front has a little bit bigger rectangle. Okay, we got the front, and if we're looking at the length and width of the front, it's still 20 on this side, but the width is going to be 15. So I have 20 and 15, and along with the front goes the back, this piece back behind here that we can't really see. So we have the back. Okay, draw that rectangle out. Same size, 15 by 20. Okay, we got 4 out of the 6. Now we just need the top and the bottom. Top. Okay, the top is like one of our smaller pieces here. And if we're looking at the top, it has a width of 8, same as this one down here, and a length of 15. Okay, so we'll put 15 across and 8 right there. And then we need the bottom. It's going to be the same size as the top. We have 15 and we have 8. Okay, see how already that's taken some work just to do that, but it helps keeps us organized because we have so much numbers that we're working with. It's really going to help us out in the end. Okay, number two. Now that we've done that, we've labeled everything. We're going to calculate the area of all the shapes. Okay, so all 6 of these, we're going to calculate the area of those. These are just simple rectangles, so we're just going to go length times width. So for this one here, we got 8 times 20 is going to get us 160. And then I circle that so I keep this number separate from my other ones, so I know that that's area. Okay, again, we have 160 down here, length times width. Then we have these ones here, 20 times 15 is going to get me 300. Okay, 300 again. Alright, then I just have my top and my bottom. 8 times 15 is going to get me 120. And 120. Okay, so what I did is I should have 6 areas here, which I do. I have 6 sides. That's our check. Now we're going to do step number 3 that we did that. We're going to add the areas. We're just going to add all these up. And if you take all these numbers and you add them together, all 6 numbers, you're going to get 1,160. And these are millimeters squared. Okay, and that would be our final answer. That's the surface area of this shape. Alright, because there's so many sides and so many numbers to work with, it's important to stay organized. I like to draw these out so that I can see what's going on. Okay, let's take a look at another example. This was a box, a rectangular prism. Now let's take a look at something called a triangular prism. Okay, triangular prism is made up of at least 2 triangles. That's why we call it a triangular prism. Okay, make some observations about the shape first. Count up how many sides we have. We have a top triangle, a bottom triangle, so that's 2. We have a right side here, and we have a left side that's over here on the back that we can't really see, so that's 4 shapes so far. And then we have this front shape right here, so 5. So we got a total of 5 sides. Okay, that's what we're looking at. Now let's go ahead and start getting this calculated. So step number 1, we want to draw all shapes that make up the 3D figure. Okay, you want to draw these shapes out. Let's start with, since it's made of triangles, let's start with the triangles. We have a top triangle and a bottom triangle. Okay, so I'm going to say top tri is going to be my first one. It looks something like that there. And let's go ahead and label our numbers. We have this side is 9. This side is 13. And then over here we have 15.8. Okay, move on to our other triangle. We'll label this B tri for bottom triangle. Notice there's no numbers here on the bottom triangle, so that means that it's going to have the same exact sizes as our top triangle. So we can just draw the same exact triangle that we just did. Let's put our 90-degree angle there. Let's not forget that. That's important for area. 9, 13, 15.8. Okay, now let's take a look at our sides. Let's go with our left side right here, and then we'll go with the right side that's on the back. Okay, the left side will say L, and because it's a rectangle and I don't want to get it confused with my triangles here, I'm going to call it L rec for the left rectangle. And my left rectangle has a length of 18 and a width of 13. It's going to be this 13 right here, 13 by 18. Alright, so I have 13 here, and I have 18 along here. Now let's take a look at the one on the back. We'll call this the right rec for the right rectangle. It's going to be the one that's back here that we can't see. It still has the same length of 18, but this time its width is this number up here, 15.8. So it's a different size. Okay, so we'll draw that. I'll make that one a little bit wider because it's a different size. Still 18 right here, and 15.8 for the other side. Okay, so far I have 4 shapes here. I need to do one more, which is my front rectangle here. Okay, so we'll just call this the front. Alright, and my front, it still has the 18, and this time the width is the 9. Okay, so there's our 5 shapes. We've labeled all the numbers. Alright, now we're going to calculate the areas of all the shapes. Alright, so we're just going to go through here and calculate this. Triangles, remember with the triangle we have to multiply by the base times the height and then divide by 2. And we look for the right angle to tell us the base and the height. So we're going to use this number and this number. Okay, this 15.8 has nothing to do with the area. Okay, we're not going to use that at all. We're just going to need these 2 numbers for our formula. So let's go ahead and calculate that. We're going to take the base times the height. We're going to take, I'll write it out here so that we can kind of see the steps. We have 13 times 9 is going to give us 117. Okay, then we're going to take 117, divide that by 2, and that'll get us 58.5. Okay, now circle that. That's my area of the triangle. Again, I'm just following the triangle formula. Base times height, and then take your answer, divide that by 2. Alright, so 58.5 for this triangle, 58.5 for the area of this other triangle. Alright, now let's move on to our rectangles. Rectangles, simply length times width. So this first rectangle is going to be 234 when we multiply the area of that. This second rectangle down here is going to be 284.4. And my third rectangle over here is going to be 162. Okay, so I should have 5 areas, which I do. I have all 5 of these. Now I want to add those up for my final step. I'm adding all the areas. Okay, so I add this up, and if you do that, you're going to get 1,200 and... Oops. Let's back up. You are going to get 797.4, and this is in meters, so that's going to be meters squared. Okay, that's our total surface area. Alright, again, these problems aren't really difficult math-wise to work out. It just takes a lot of calculation and a lot of numbers you have to do to get to the final answer, a lot of organization. Alright, I have one more triangular prism to do because these ones seem to be the trickiest. So I'll go through that example and then I'll see how you guys do on the try this problem. Alright, so my last example here, if you want to work on it ahead of time and then check your answer, then that's fine too. If you want to follow along with me, then you can. Alright, so our triangular prism, looking at it, most triangular prisms have 5 sides, and this one does. We have this front rectangle, the back rectangle. We have the front side, the front rectangle, the back rectangle, and then we have the bottom rectangle. So it has 5 sides again. Okay, and we're going to go through our steps and get this solved. Step number 1, we're going to draw all shapes that make up the 3D figure. Okay, drawing this out just helps us stay organized. So let's start drawing this. We have our 2 triangles here. Okay, we'll call this our left triangle and our right triangle. So I'm going to say L tri, and my L tri looks like this. I have this line coming down, which is the height. There's my right angle. I have a base of 10 and a height of 18. Base of 10. My 18 is not going to fit in there too well with my pen, so I'm going to put it off here to the side. Say that's 18. Okay, on the inside there. And then I have my right triangle. Okay, which again is going to be the same size. 10 on the bottom, 18 for a height. Alright, then I have this 17 over here, but I don't need it with my triangles because remember, area of triangle is the base times the height, and I already got that. The 17 is just an extra number, but we're going to need it for our rectangles that we're going to use. Okay, so let's get to our rectangles. We have a front rectangle here and a back rectangle. Let's start with the front rec, we'll call it that. Okay, it looks something like that there. And this front rectangle is a length of 24 and its height right here is 17. It's the same as this back height. Since this doesn't have a number with it, then it's just going to match this other side over here. So we have 24 by 17. 24, 17. Then I have the back rectangle. Alright, it's going to be the same exact side, also 24, or 24 this way by 17. Okay, so we have two rectangles that are exactly the same. And then we just have our bottom. Okay, and our bottom is a rectangle like that, and it has a length of 24 and a width of 10. Okay, we got that. Now we should have 5 sides, looks like we do. Now we are going to calculate the area of all the shapes. Okay, so starting with the triangle, we have to go base times height. 18 times 10 is going to give me 180, and then I got to take 180, divide that by 2. Okay, I'm just writing that out so that you guys can see that and follow along. Okay, so we have 90 for an area for this rectangle. So this other, or sorry, triangle. So this other triangle is going to be 90. Circle that so you got your numbers separate. Let's find the area of these rectangles. 17 times 24 is going to give me 408. This one also is going to be 408. And then this rectangle over here, 10 times 24, is going to get me 240. Circle that. Now I have my 5 areas here, and I just need to add those up. And when you add those all together, you will get 1,236, and these units are centimeters. Centimeters to the power of 2. Alright, and that's it. There's your lesson on finding the surface area of rectangular prism boxes and triangular prisms, ones that look like this, like a tent. Okay, this is a good way to go about solving it. It helps keep you organized. It gives you extra steps because you got to draw some stuff. I realize that, but it helps you from keep from getting your numbers all mixed up. Okay, I hope this works for you guys. Don't forget you got this, try this problem to do, see what you guys come up with for a surface area of that, and we'll work some more on these when you guys come to class next time. Thanks for watching.